Thank you for attending CSUSB iCoyote Immigration Session. Before we get started, I would like to introduce you to CIS Immigration Team. My name is Kimberly Gentile, and I am the Immigration Lead. We have Eleanor Perry, who is our Immigration Specialist, and Marcus Lagos, who is our SEVIS Coordinator. Between the three of us, we are here to help and serve your immigration needs. Today, we will review SEVIS database and provide information on CSUSB SEVIS administrators. We will then discuss how to maintain your F or J status. We will provide an overview of pertinent immigration documentation, discuss the roles and responsibility of the student and CIS, and last but not least, how you can connect with our office. SEVIS. SEVIS stands for Student Exchange Visitor Information System. It is the database that the Department of Homeland Security used to issue and maintain both the F and J students' records. SEVIS is also used to transfer students' SEVIS records from one university to another. It's important to know that only one university can hold your SEVIS record at a time. If you are new to CSUSB and another university holds your SEVIS record, you must request your record to be transferred as soon as possible so we can help maintain your status. SEVIS only recognizes school officials. These officials are approved by SEVIS to help maintain your record, and they're the only ones that have access to the system. The following is the names are your primary designated school official, and that's PDSO, and your designated school officials, who are called DSOs. They are the only one authorized to sign or issue an I-20 for an F1 student. J1 students hold a DS 2019 form. For that group, SEVIS officials are your responsible officers, known as ROs, and alternative responsible officers, known as AROs. Immigration status in the COVID environment. This is a trying time during our COVID pandemic, and the Student Exchange Visitor Program, SEVP for short, recognizes the challenges international students face. They have allowed some flexibility to our students. For example, newly admitted students who are outside the U.S. can study fully online from their home country. However, unless new students are registered in at least one hybrid class, we cannot issue an I-20 for you to enter the U.S. Newly admitted students inside the U.S. must transfer their SEVIS record to CSUSB. They are allowed to study fully online and have their SEVIS record maintained. So how do you maintain your immigration status? For F1 status, if in the U.S., students must enroll in at least 12 units if an undergraduate, and at least 6 units if a graduate. If you are outside the U.S., you aren't allowed to enroll in less than 12 or 6 units since your immigration status is not yet active. Remember to always keep valid documents, either an I-20 for F1 students or DS 2019. A valid passport, and if you are leaving the U.S., you must have a valid travel signature on each of these documents, and also a visa stamp to re-enter the U.S. CIS asks that you contact our office before reducing your course load, any programming changes, or leaving the U.S. This will provide us the best advice in your particular situation. If a request is needed, you can submit a request to our online services. We ask that you allow 5 business days for processing after we receive all the required documents from you. And this is given, but in order to maintain your status, you must abide by all state and federal laws, including not drinking or driving and using drugs. So what are some of the documents that you must maintain, and what do they look like? This part is intended to help you get familiar with your I-20 or your DS-2019 form. The I-20 form is a 3-page document and will indicate F1 class in the upper right corner. On the I-20, there are 5 areas that you will need to know. One is your SEVIS ID number, where the arrow is indicating. This number is a 12-digit number that starts with the letter N. This number is tied to your SEVIS record and helps us maintain your immigration status. Item number 2 is your educational level that you're studying at. It may read bachelor's, master's, or doctorate. Number 3 is your major. This is your field of study that you're seeking a degree in. For example, a master's in computer science. Number 4 is your program end date. This is the date you are expected to complete your program. Now, if for some reason you cannot complete your program by the end date indicated on the I-20, you must submit a request to the CIS office so that we can extend your I-20. Number 5 is the area where the required travel signature section is. This is signed by your PDSO or a DSO within our office. It must be signed prior to you leaving the U.S. The DS-2019 is for J1 students. It is a 2-page document for students holding a J1 visa. It works similar to the I-20. It too has a SEVIS number. The number again is a 12-digit number that starts with the letter N. This number is tied to your SEVIS record, and it helps us maintain your immigration status. Item number 2 on the DS-2019 shows the program end date. This is the date you are expected to graduate from your program. As mentioned before, if for some reason you cannot complete your program by the end date, you must submit a request to the CIS office so that we can extend your DS-2019. Item number 3 is where your educational level is listed. It may read bachelor's, master's, or doctorate. Number 4 is the required travel signature section that will need to be signed by an RO or an ARO if you're planning to leave the U.S. Again, this must be done prior to travel. The I-94 card or record is considered your arrival and departure record. It is generated when you enter the U.S. It indicates your admission class, such as F or J status. It also has the date that you are admitted until. In most cases, it has a D/S, which stands for duration of status. This means your admission to the U.S. is active during your time you're studying in the U.S. When your I-94 is issued, be sure to check for accuracy to ensure the custom officer placed you in the right category. Other valid documents that you must keep are the visa stamp and the passport. The visa has an expiration date attached to it. As long as you are in the U.S., it's okay to let this particular date expire. However, you will need to renew it prior to re-entering the U.S. The passport is a different story. It must remain valid at all times. Please do not allow this document to expire. You are responsible for renewing these documents, as CIS cannot do this for you. So you're in the U.S. and you're looking for work, and you're wondering if you're able to work as an international student. For those students in the U.S., you are allowed to work on campus while attending school. You can work up to 20 hours while school is in session and 40 hours during break. However, you may not work off campus unless your program calls for it and CIS has pre-approved you before you start working. You will need to apply for a Social Security card in order to work outside campus. It is extremely important that you do not work unauthorized, as this could jeopardize your immigration status. So you're attending school for a while and you feel that you may want to take a semester off. Well, you're in luck. Vacation breaks are allowed during normal campus closures. If you would like to take time off outside of campus closure, you may do so after one full academic term. For example, you must study for a fall and spring term before you will be eligible to request a vacation break. So if you've done everything that you needed to complete your program and you're about ready to graduate and you're thinking to yourself, now what? After you complete your program, you do have a few options available to you. For F1 students, you can apply for optional practical training, which is OPT for short. We do have special workshops on OPT. OPT allows you up to 12 months of work authorization, but you do have to apply for it through the U.S. Immigration Office. For J1 students, you can apply for academic training, and that gives you up to 18 months of work authorization. That application is made directly through the CIS office. If you wanted to attend another academic institution of higher grade level, you can do so. We hope that you remain at CSUSB, but if you find another program, please ensure that you request your CVIS record to be transferred to that institution before you start your new program. Or if you don't want to work in the U.S. after graduation and you don't want to go to a higher level, continue your education, you can simply go home. F1 students do have 60 days to depart the U.S. once they have graduated. J1 students have 30 days to depart the U.S. after graduation. So what are some of the roles and responsibilities when it comes to maintaining immigration status? CISP is here to help serve your immigration needs and to help you maintain your immigration status. But the bulk of the responsibility on maintaining the immigration status is up to the student. For example, students should make sure that they are enrolled in the required number of units. Keep all valid immigration documents and abide by state and federal laws at all times. Some of the reminders, which I just mentioned, for a course load of study. Register for classes while abroad and in the U.S. Please make normal progress toward completing your course of study. Pay attention to your program end dates on your I-20 or your DS 2019 form. Keep valid I-20s and DS 2019 forms, as well as passports at all times. Abstain from criminal activity, and please do not work unauthorized. How can you stay in touch with our office? Well, you can email us at cisp@csusb.edu or at iss@csusb.edu, or simply call our front office at 909-537-5193. For international extension programs, please feel free to email them at iep@csusb.edu or call them directly at 909-537-5978. Keep a close watch out on social media. We post a lot of our programs there on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact our office at any time. And again, thank you for joining CSUSB.